She's not Jazz, she's Danny.
And he's Josh.
And you've just tuned into the conversation. This month on the conversation, we got a pretty big gift.
Really big gig. We had the opportunity to interview Apollo legends, Black Violin.
We have with us Black Violin, Kev Marcus, correct?
Kev Marcus.
All right. We have Will B. Okay, the two violinists.
Yep.
All right. Okay, and then off to the side, let me see. Off to the side is DJ TK. All right, and we're very happy to have you here. We're going to try to keep this short and brief because we know y'all have to get out there and perform. Danielle, why don't you take the first question?
Let's just jump right into it. What inspired you two to pick up the violin as a musical instrument? Because for most, it may be, your parents send you to piano lessons or play the drums. What was?
I mean, that's not a common instrument, you know.
Especially for black folk. Though.
Right.
The violin was one of the things kind of found us, I say. We both have different stories. My mother made me do it at the beginning. I was just going.
So you started at 9, correct?
I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And my mother kind of just pushed me into music in some way because I was kind of getting lost in the streets. And, I went to a public school that had orchestra class, and we met there. And I went to middle school, high school, and public school. We had no lessons. It wasn't the same way that most people start the violin. It was sort of like anybody playing trumpet in band class in schools. That's how we started, in a similar fashion. But it was kind of drawn to us though in a way. That's why we kept playing. That's why we doing what we doing now. It's just kind of it's fate.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, my story is a little different. I remember wanting to get into music because I used to beat on a table while dudes would rap, and security guard would always just tell me to stop doing it. He's like, "Why don't you sign up for band or something?" And he would always tell me the story how he used to play the saxophone and play gigs and make money. So I thought to myself, I'll sign up for band, play the saxophone, play some gigs or whatever. And they put me in the wrong class, like true story. And I picked up the viola, and it was just really an instant connection. You know what I mean? Like I just loved it. The first day was kind of like, what is this? There's no horns, there's no, there's no trumpets, there's wood instruments around. It was kind of like, it was really different because I honestly never seen a violin up close before.
Okay.
So, when I picked it up, we had wonderful teachers, man, that motivated us and kept us believing, told us, listen, man, you can go to college for free, which happened. We had full scholarship to college. And made us believe, man, you can do great things with this. And we just kept doing and kept believing, and we just never stopped playing. You know what I mean? We never stopped playing, never stopped chasing whatever this dream or this vision was, which we didn't really understand at the time. We just know we liked doing this, and we just felt like, we can go to college for free and become something from this. And that's, that's basically what we did. We just kept doing it.
And because you all did it for so long, your parents weren't, or your family wasn't weirded out by the violin. What makes you choose the violin? They were just kind of used to it.
Yeah, after a while they were used to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like with me, with my family, I can't remember. I think my sister came to like a few concerts. Like my family wasn't really into classical, going to concerts, nothing like that. So, I played a lot of concerts with just going to concerts and playing them. Not really a lot of support. But I thank God for my teacher, man. He was always like that dude that was always like, all right, I understand your situation, but listen, you can go to college, you can do this, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of great violists, and kept me, in the right direction. So,
Okay. You want to take the next question?
This is like a 2-part question. Like, how did Black Violin form? You said you met in the public school, but what made you just click, and when did the DJ come in and the drummer?
Okay. Well, we went to public school together. We met in high school as band partners in orchestra class. And we both got full scholarship to college, like you said. From like at the middle of college, it was different because we went to kind of like a black fame as a high school. Like it was just everybody was performing in our school. You either danced, sang, you did something, and we were the orchestra. Okay. We were a very good orchestra, but once we all split up and went our separate ways, it was different. And I was like the only black face in my orchestra for many years. And it had a different feel to it. So we got back together at the very tail end of college, and we started trying to produce music for various, artists or whoever's around in Miami. Rick Ross, Pitbull, at the time before they are what they are now. And we would play them beats. We'd always play people beats, but they would be more amazed by the violin. We'd play them some beats and come out with a violin, play on top of them. They were like, "What is that? I want that." And we'd be like, "Yeah, it's just a violin. We've been doing this for years, But people were always drawn to it. So we in South Beach. We live in Miami, so we go to South Beach, and we broke, and we had to figure a way to make money. That's how Black Violin started. So we started trying to find gigs at clubs, go to a club, and we're like, "Hey, we got 2 violinists. We're gonna shut your club down." And we're like, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hard sell all the time. But, when we finally got in there, it was like, put the CD on, the music never stops. All of a sudden, back in the day, it was like Jaquan Tipsy. It was songs like that we were playing on. And people would just be like, "Oh, look at these violinists, they getting down." And we're like, okay, we have something there,
Okay. And so the name, the name Black Violin, is it just because you're 2 black men that play the violin, or is it something deeper that would just not seem?
Yeah, it's deeper. Like, thank God, it's deeper. It's not just because black. It's because there's a guy by the name of Stuff Smith.
Okay.
And he's a violinist, African American guy back in the 1960s, the bebop days, jazz bebop, and he was African American. And his first day in college, his professor, who was also African American violist at the time, gave him a tape, and it was by the guy named Stuff Smith. And he gave him a tape, and he listened to it. He's like, "Listen, I don't even want to teach you anything. Just go home and listen to this tape." And he was amazed by the tape because the guy just had so much soul, just the way that he played, you can tell the guy was black, what I mean? You've never heard a violin played that way before. He let me hear it, I felt the same way, and we were both very inspired by that album, you know what I'm saying? And the album was called Black Violin.
It was written right before he died. So it was perfect. It was like almost in tribute of him that we called ourselves that. Because that was the genesis, the moment of genius, when we were like, "Oh, we could do something more than play Mozart and Beethoven on this. We can actually have some soul on it, So we named ourselves Black Violin after it. And the obvious helps as well.
So that's where your spin comes from. That album right there is where, because it's not normal stuff that you would expect with the violin. It's not classical. It's a really wonderful spin with the violin. The next question is, who are your biggest influences outside of
the inspiration for the title of the group?
Right.
I think we take inspirations from a lot of places. Classically, I'm inspired by Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, amongst others. Listen to classical music pretty much every day.
Okay.
But also, we hip hop dudes as well. I'm digging Drake right now. I'm digging, the new T.I. album I'm hearing. Lupe got some new stuff. I mean, we draw from a lot of different places because we are urban guys, urban young guys who are classically trained. So it's kind of we have a wide margin of things. We listen to things that was made yesterday. We listen to things that was made in the 1700s, and everything in between. Jazz as well. You can tell you some jazz influences.
I mean, musically, I like the old school stuff. Just that sound, that that Motown, Curtis Mayfield, and really just a lot of the content, a lot of stuff they spoke about, and I'm really drawn to that. Classically, I like a lot of the dark composers, the Shostakovich and the Intimates. And I mean, inspiration, like you said, I take inspiration from a lot of different areas, different people. My teacher inspired me a lot, man. Families, and I'm a spiritual guy, so I look to God for inspiration in everything I do. And just being able to really just continue this road that we're going. We gotta be able to just get energy from different places, what I'm saying, inspiration. So we're inspired to be here in Memphis, man. One of the greatest.
We are glad to have you.
You know what I mean? You talk about, we just toured the Civil Rights Museum, and the old, you know what I'm saying, this theater right here is legendary. So, you know, the inspiration alone in Memphis is enough to get us through this whole tour. So,
And your primary message, is it to reach large audiences, or is it? I saw on your website that you like to go to schools and encourage young children to pick up instruments and stuff like that. So is it just targeted towards the young audience, or is it a broader?
everyone.
Yeah, I think it's everybody. I mean, like, you know, I don't even look at it, and I don't think none of us look at it like, oh, go up and pick up an instrument. Like, that's cool. Playing an instrument has done a lot for us. Our main thing when we talk about kids, like this morning we played for 4,000 kids here. We did 2 shows already today.
Wow.
And we taught to 4,000 kids, performed for them. And it's about thinking outside the box. It's about stretching your mind to understand that there's so much more than what you see, you know. And we played a show for them. After the show, we asked them, have they ever seen a violin show like this? They always say no. And then we say, the violin's been around 500 years. You've never seen a show like this before? And they always say no. And we say, because we thinking outside the box.
Right.
You do that with whatever it is you're doing. It's not impossible. You just witnessed it. That's more the message to me and to all of us, really, is just that, you know, go further, you know, think further, you know, like don't, you know, get in this box, you know, think outside of it, you know.
All right.
Now, you said that you all formed because you was trying to make money, right? And I want to know, was there like ever a down moment in y'all's career that you thought Black Violin may not happen?
I mean,
there was a lot of down moments, but I mean, the thing about it is, it was tough just to convey to people, like, you know, I'm gonna come to your club and I'm gonna play and people are gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna play the violin and they're gonna like it. It's just that concept alone. Even when we think about it, we're like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough to get people to really see us, but we never gave up. Like, what we would do, let's say the promoters at the club, our manager at the time would pull up in his truck and he put the seat in the car, open the doors, and we will play right in front of him, right in front of the club, and he'll see it and he'll be like, oh, that's cool, we'll come by the club around 9 o'clock and we'll see what we can do. And we just kept doing that. We kept grinding because honestly, we felt we had something, you know what I'm saying? And we just really felt like we had something. This is something that everybody that comes out by the studio and see us do this, and this is second nature to us, and they love it. So we're like, listen, we got something. We just got to really expose it, really put ourselves out there. That's when Apollo came about. We went to Apollo, never lost, and you know what I mean. Like,
And you wound up getting the what is it? It's the
Apollo Legends?
yeah, the Apollo Legend.
Apollo Legend.
Yeah, which you know is rare.
yeah,
It's rare.
you
So,
know, there's only one of those a year, so we got it. So.
yeah.
so-
So how does that? I mean, how does that feel?
It feels, you know, it's crazy to me. It's like it feels so long ago now. Like, I remember it was fresh in my mind. I remember when we were, you know, young 20s and we did it, and like it was just a crazy. I mean, I felt like I was gonna come out the Apollo Theater and get struck by lightning. Like, I felt like something was going to happen bad because I couldn't believe it.
Right.
You know, and it's funny because nobody saw it air. You know, they had an air. Yeah, I called home. My mom was like, "Really? Oh my gosh, you want Apollo?" Like, it was different, man. It's a James Brown's on that stage. I mean,
Right.
Like
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Jackson
Jackson.
5's on that stage. I mean, we're in that group now.
Right.
And it's a very elite fraternity.
Okay. So it's kind of surreal.
Definitely.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, because who didn't watch Showtime at the Apollo as
That
a
was
kid
the show.
and think, okay, I could be on there one day. I mean, you know. But,
Was it at that moment where you felt like Black Violin was taking off?
Yeah.
okay, so
That
for
moment-
both of you.
Yeah,
Both.
that moment we felt like, because we didn't know what to expect. We prepared ourselves as much as we could. We went there, and we just killed it. Like, our first show when we won, the audience would not stop clapping. You know what I'm saying? And we looked at each other like, yo, this is crazy. Like, especially when we won all 3 shows, because they taped all 3, you know, same shows on the same day. We're like, listen, man, this is crazy. That's when we realized we had something.
Okay.
Even though back then we were still grinding and we knew we had something, but this was like confirmation. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Go hard with this. And when we won that $20,000, we put it toward, you know what I'm saying, the company. We got a website and just went hard with it. You know what I'm saying? It kept going. Went to Alicia Keys' office, knocked at her door. Listen, this is what we got. We just wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? And here we are in Memphis, and you know the road keeps going. You know?
All right, this is a completely transparent interview, so let me just be. How long we have?
10 minutes is a little bit up.
Okay. All right.
And the guys gotta eat.
Okay. Right.
Kind of wind it
Right.
down.
Okay. We're finna wind it down. Wind it on down. Last question. What's next for you after this tour? What's next?
Well, we never stop touring.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing.
Okay, so-
People say a tour, it just goes on and on and on. There's no winter tour, it just goes.
Okay.
Right now, we are working on our sophomore album, which should be out in the summer.
Okay.
We're debuting a track from it actually tonight. We're trying to just take over the world, one city at a time. I mean, we just hit our 48th state the other day. We were in Montana and Wyoming. Got Hawaii and I think New Mexico left. Trying to just keep touring, keep grinding, and get Black Violin to become a household name.
Okay.
And that's where we're at right now.
Your next show, tell me if I'm wrong, is in Johnson City, correct?
It is.
All right, on the 26th and 27th. All right, and if you're out there, come see them. They're amazing. And if you guys watching this want to know if Black Violin is coming to a city near you, you can go to blackviolin.net. Thank you so much, Kev, Will. That was such an awesome interview, wasn't it? I mean, we got to be backstage at the Orpheum, and I truly enjoyed myself talking to them. What about yourself?
It was amazing. Like you said, we had the opportunity to go where the conversation hasn't been. We got to go with the music background.
Right. For the conversation,
I'm Danielle Wilmer.
and I'm Joshua Bowler.